There's a hummingbird hanging from a branch outside my window right now. Upside down, not moving, eyes shut. If I touched it, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't react at all. And if you found this bird in your yard, you'd assume it was dead. People do. They pick it up, they get ready to bury it, and then it just wakes up, shakes itself off, flies away like nothing happened. That's not a fluke. That's what a hummingbird does almost every single night of its life. And I didn't believe it either until I actually looked into it. So here's the bird you actually know. Daytime hummingbird. Little motor that never shuts off. Wings beating something like 50 times a second. That's why it sounds like a hum instead of a flap. Hearts going over 1,000 beats a minute. And to keep that running, it basically has to eat constantly. Hundreds of flowers a day sometimes. It lives right on the edge of empty, all day, every day. Which, when you actually stop and think about it, makes almost no sense. Because the second the sun goes down, the flowers close. No food, nothing coming in for 8 hours straight. So how does something that burns that hot survive a night with zero fuel? And if you want more of this kind of stuff, birds doing things that genuinely don't add up until you know the trick, sub's right there. Costs nothing. Okay, back to it. Dusk. This is the part you've probably actually seen without realizing what it meant. 1 minute the hummingbird's at the feeder, guarding it like it's personal property, chasing off anything that gets close. Then the light drops a little more and it's just gone. No slow wind down, no warning, just an empty feeder swaying in the wind. So where does it go? Not out in the open, that's for sure. It tucks itself deep into a shrub or up under a leaf, somewhere the wind can't reach it and nothing hunting at night can spot it from below. Here's the part that got me, though. It's not random. These birds tend to pick the exact same branch night after night, same little spot. A tiny private room you've probably walked past 100 times and never noticed was occupied. And before it does anything else, it locks in. Small birds like this have a tendon set up in their legs that pulls the toes shut automatically under the bird's own body weight. So it's not gripping, it's not working to hold on, it's just locked. Like your fingers curling if someone tightened a string behind your knuckles. That's the only part of this bird that's about to keep doing its job all night, because everything else is about to power down. So this is where it stops being a bird just settling in for the night and turns into something way stranger. It drops into something called torpor. Easiest way to picture it, a controlled shutdown, not sleep, a shutdown. Its metabolism can fall by as much as 95%. That non-stop full-blast furnace from all afternoon doesn't slow down, it basically collapses down to a single tiny ember, just enough to keep it from going out completely. And the numbers here are the part people don't believe at first. That heart, the one doing over 1,000 beats a minute while it fed, it drops to under 50. Its breathing gets so faint you could stare directly at its chest and swear it wasn't breathing at all. And its body temperature, sitting around 104 degrees Fahrenheit all afternoon, just starts sliding, falling toward whatever the night air is. Touch it and it feel cool, like something that's already been gone a while. This is exactly why people who stumble onto one call it the hummingbird that nearly freezes overnight. They're not exaggerating much. So why would any animal push itself this far? Because the math leaves it no choice. A hummingbird burns fuel so fast that staying at full temperature for 8 hours with nothing coming in would straight up starve it before sunrise. It doesn't carry enough fat reserve to stay hot all night, so it refuses to stay hot. And the colder the night gets, the deeper it drops, spending as little as possible to reach morning with anything left at all. Now here's the part that actually scares people, because it looks completely wrong. Sometimes the bird ends up fully upside down, dangling by its locked feet, head hanging back, beak pointed straight up at the sky. That's just torpor taken all the way down. Muscles relax so much the bird slips right under its own branch. People find them like this at dawn and are dead sure it's a corpse. Sometimes they even start to move it. And then the sun climbs a little higher and the dead bird stirs, shakes out, and rockets off like nothing happened. But here's something almost nobody thinks about. Not every hummingbird gets to do this. Have you ever actually found one like this yourself? Tell me in the comments, because I want to know how close you got before it moved. Because picture a female sitting on a nest in the dark. That nest has eggs or tiny chicks, and both need steady warmth to make it through the night. If she drops into full torpor like the others, that warmth disappears, and so do they. So she's stuck with a harder deal. She holds herself back from the full shutdown, stays warmer than she'd like, burns through her own reserves all night just to keep the nest alive. Meanwhile, the bird 2 branches over is hanging cold and switched off, spending almost nothing. She's paying a bill after dark that the others never even see, so... And I want to be straight with you, torpor isn't some free miracle trick. It's got a real dark side, and the bird's gambling on it every single night. Because a hummingbird deep in torpor is completely defenseless. Can't fly, can't fight, can't even lift its head. If something finds it hanging there cold and limp, there's no escape, no struggle. It's over before the bird even knows anything happened. And the waking up isn't a switch it can just flip. It has to shiver its flight muscles over and over to generate heat, slowly dragging its temperature back up. That can take anywhere from 20 minutes to a full hour. For that entire stretch, right as the light's coming up, it's sluggish, exposed, and can't do the one thing that actually keeps it alive, which is fly. Torpor gets it through the cold, but it bets everything on the dark staying quiet. So how far does this actually go? This is the part I told you to hang on for. Researchers went up into the Andes to study hummingbirds living where the nights get brutally cold, and they recorded body temperatures dropping to around 38 degrees F. Sit with that for a second. That's a few degrees above freezing. Lowest body temperature ever recorded in a bird doing this kind of nightly shutdown. For hours, these birds sat colder than the inside of your fridge, hearts barely ticking, breathing you'd need instruments to even catch. By every normal measure we use for a warm-blooded animal, they were sitting right at the doorway of death. And then, the sky turned gray at the edges. From a temperature that should have killed them, they shivered themselves back, warmed up out of almost nothing, and lifted off to feed like it was the most ordinary thing in the world. Because to them, it is. They do it again the next night, and the night after that, for their whole lives. So that little bird hanging upside down at the start of this video, not dead, not even close, just doing what it's done every night since the day it hatched, flirting with the edge and coming back every single time. If you want to see what else these birds are hiding in plain sight, the next one's linked right there. I think you'll like it just as much.